We have Bitcoin, Ethereum, XRP, and an article regarding the Central African Republic attempting to tokenize the nation's national resources. Recently, we've heard about them accepting Bitcoin as legal tender, and they are now currently continuing to implement blockchain technology into the nation. Lots going on here in the crypto sphere, it would appear. Stick around to the end to not miss any of what's really going on here with XRP. Currently, we have price action continuing to trade sideways, resistance overhead at 46 cents, and bearish robos in play ever since April have saved us here from a dramatic 53% in downside that has occurred, and we are just patiently waiting for the return of bullish confirmations for us to begin comfortably reinvesting back into XRP. If you determine an amount you wish to invest into XRP, perhaps $1 million, you can put 20% of that investment in at support level. At the moment, the strongest horizontal level of support waiting for us in any sort of continued downside with bearish robos in mind is going to be 25 cents. Along the way, 30 cents. Hopefully we can experience a bullish interaction with it, though we are not eager to jump in at that level. 25 cents would be more significant. As I mentioned, 46 cents is resistance. Say we find ourselves back above it and we confirm it as support. You can invest that 20% ratio there, whichever one comes first. We can invest 50% based on EngineeringRobo's bullish confirmations. When 2 of our chosen 3 Robo advisors become bullish again, we can invest that 50% investment ratio and potentially anticipate, perhaps up to 93% in gains confirmed back in July of 2021 through some ridiculous sideways here. We have, some 18% in upside after bullish robos. And as we can see, bearish robo advisors here have saved us from some dramatic downside that has occurred here recently. We see 47% in downside after November of 2021. And then we have the aforementioned 50+% correction that has most recently occurred. And that may still occur here with potentially, prophesized sideways and or downside that may play out. And that remaining 30% of your investment can be invested when daily candles find themselves above this descending trend line here, which is quite large and encompasses a lot of price action. So we just have to go with the flow of crypto. Watch out for the confirmations no matter the situation. But you may be wondering what this ridiculous amount of price action is here. We have just taken from all the way back in December of 2020. I have selected sort of this range of price action between December of 2020 into April of 2021. Sort of just dragged it over and brought it down a bit. And we can just see how it correlates with my levels here. And so if we refer back to that price action briefly, we can see interaction with highs technically near sort of like 64 cents, but interaction with 46 cents, along with lows near my 25-cent level all the way down to 17 cents, only to return back to the previous 46-cent level and or 63-cent level within a very short period of months here. So we do anticipate some potential dramatic up, down, and around side that may occur. And I just like how this correlates with my sort of key levels here moving forward. Obviously, we will not interact with it exactly, but this may just suggest perhaps how this may play out sideways until potentially September of this year, which is not impossible here for us, as bearish robos are in play for Bitcoin still at the moment. I do anticipate, potentially another interaction upward here in the short term. Local resistance forming overhead near 43 cents, it would appear. As I mentioned, 46 cents is overhead waiting to give us a hard time as well. Watch out for 25 cents down below. If that fails to hold us, we have, 17 cents there waiting. But we just have to go with the flow of crypto, and we watch out for Robo, no matter the situation, allow the confirmations. The Central African Republic has announced plans to proceed with its ambitious Sango project by tokenizing access to the country's abundant natural resources. The president posted a photograph of a statement on his official Twitter account detailing the next steps in the project. A quote from the statement posted reads, "We are giving everyone access to the riches of our land. In other words, we are transforming them into equally valuable and important digital assets through an unprecedented new administrative and economic movement." So the Central African Republic, which in April became the second country in the world to adopt Bitcoin as legal tender, introduced the project Sango very recently. On the project's website, it is claimed that the World Bank approved a $35 million development fund for a Sango crypto hub in the country, even though the World Bank has stated that it will not support the initiative. So, interesting interactions here from these, major entities in the traditional world of finance sphere. Lastly, the creation of a legal framework for resource tokenization is a key element of the Sango project, along with establishing e-residency for investors, crowdfunding infrastructure, and the funding Sango, the so-called crypto island metaverse. The Central African Republic has reserves of gold, oil, iron, diamonds, copper, uranium, rhodium, and other minerals. So, very bullish here for the commodity sphere. We've seen a couple videos regarding gold and silver here on the channel, and potentially more to come. Very bullish here for Bitcoin, in my opinion. Cryptocurrency currently still making some bullish moves and strides during times of extreme fear and downside, but we just go with the flow of crypto, though I find it very difficult to be bearish on the space. But find this article in the description. Quickly checking in on Ethereum here, it would appear bearish robos in play back in April have saved us from this crippling 42% in downside that has occurred. And we are just patiently waiting for bullish robos to return. We've seen 80% in gains. We've seen another instance of 37% in upside after bullish confirmations. We've also seen another instance of 46% in downside after bearish robos back in November. So just going with the flow of crypto and robo. Looking for continued interaction with my key levels here. $1,687 down below, waiting for continued interaction as support here. Hopefully, watch out for $1,933 overhead. Additionally, $2,151 overhead, and the strongest level of resistance waiting for us in any sort of upside here is $2,320. Potentially, hopefully, possibly, mystically, potentially, hypothetically, metaphorically, we experience an instance similar to price action back in, June, July of last year. Maybe we see a, bottom outy type phase here if I were to line this up here in some sort of manner. I don't know. Hopefully we can recover from these levels, but we go with the flow of crypto. 20% can be invested in at support, 50% when two of our chosen three robos return to a bullish state, and 30% can be invested when daily candles find themselves above this major descending trend line here, which we will extend as necessary. Looking at Bitcoin here, it would appear still sideways, hoping for support down below. $28,422 looking decent at the moment, though watch out for this swing low made on the 12th of May near $26,700. I almost smell interaction with that level again before we kind of break upward here and return to previous all-time highs and then some. So we have the early bird in play, though we would like a second Robo advisor to become bullish here to allow for that 50% EngineeringRobo based investment ratio confirmation. Though at the moment, the early bird in play has allowed you to potentially capitalize on a 11% move upward. So if you're savvy enough at trading, could have capitalized on that $3,200 sort of move upward there we've experienced. And with that same, trading savviness, you could have potentially capitalized on the over $3,000 move downward that occurred immediately after. So local resistance forming overhead, apparently $32,300 per Bitcoin is resistance here forming. $34,655 overhead is still going to be visualized resistance waiting for us. And then we have this descending trend line along the way if we were to continue our way sideways. Based on the fear zone soon to be revealed here, we do anticipate potentially lows near the $20,000 per Bitcoin type levels. We have a key level at 21,815, and we also have 18,860 as well. But going with the flow of crypto, we always watch out for Robo and the confirmations during this highly volatile, fear-filled situation. We're looking for further confirmations and solidification of these key levels down below. We are accumulating during times of extreme fear here, though we are watching out for further significance met at these horizontal levels waiting for us in any sort of continued downside. In the immediate short term, a move upward is not impossible, potentially a retest of that 32K level. Potentially we can surpass it and get to that $34,000 level, though in my opinion, I foresee potentially continued downside and or sideways until later this year here. But 20% invested at support, 50% when two of our chosen three robos become bullish, and 30% when we are above this descending trend line. Bitcoin still here in the fear zone, where we are suggested to be accumulating in highly calculated quantities along the way, anticipating potentially 45% in downside based on these two previous instances. And I have referred to back here in 2018 into 2019, where we traded sideways for several months, experiencing that up to 45% in downside, and how that correlates with price action moving forward. Since we've entered the fear zone, we are making our way toward that 45% in downside. At the moment, upon entering the fear zone, we've seen about 30% in downside, and we've been trading within it for about a month. I personally do anticipate sideways until more likely the end of this month here, so perhaps another 4 or 5 months moving forward, until we were to exit the fear zone and start trading back toward that FOMO zone, still suggesting a more reasonable top for Bitcoin, $188,000. So that is where you can more comfortably consider selling and taking profit with a more comfortable assumption of a potential top in play. We could trade up in the FOMO zone here dramatically and experience perhaps a couple months up in that range, though we will likely exit it eventually and move toward that fear zone, rinse and repeat, go with the flow of the AI cheat. Let me know down below your thoughts on Bitcoin and cryptocurrency currently. Thank you so much for hearing my analysis, and tune in for the next one.